fellow deputy and assistant ministers of this historic institution. I said the last time, it's always a great feeling when I find myself in this historic hall, the Charles Bale Hall, where we've been provided the opportunity to update the Liberian people on happenings at the Civil Service Agency. Today, I once again congratulate all of you in the media for the role you continue to play in keeping our people informed and educated on the work that we do on their behalf. It's highly commendable. On behalf of the Civil Service Agency, I express sincere gratitude to the Minister, Honorable Geraldine MPA, and the entire leadership team at MICAT for this glorious opportunity. Today, we are pleased to provide the public with major updates on the Personnel Action Notice completion process, the 2021 Payroll Compliance Audit Recommendation Implementation, and the CSA's 100-day deliverables. Since the CSA announced the requirements for individuals on the payroll to regularize their status by completing the personnel action notices, we continue to receive calls and messages from individuals nationwide who have not complied with these key employment requirements. Many have expressed excitement and interest in regularizing their status in order for the CSA to have comprehensive employee data for each of them. In short, they are eager to regularize their status, which is the right thing to do. These employees are inquiring daily about the steps and procedures for the regularization process. This crucial exercise will enable the CSA to have accurate data for each employee with regards to their qualifications and processing of pension and other benefits. Section 35 of the Civil Service Standing Orders of 2012 provides that personnel action notices are processed for new employment, deletions, transfers, and promotions. This vital legal framework clearly provides the roles of spending entities as well as the steps and procedures in completing their personnel action notices. Unfortunately, this legally binding instrument has been consistently violated by my predecessors at the CSA, thereby creating problems that we have today. Notwithstanding, today, I want to assure all civil servants affected by this situation that the problem is a shared responsibility, not theirs alone. The CSA, under my predecessors and ministries, agencies, and commissions, take a bigger portion of the blame for not complying with this crucial employment requirement. In the same vein, the affected employees also share a portion of the blame for failing to ask the relevant questions about their statuses, especially the incomplete nature of their bans for those who initiated the process. In other words, there's no need to panic, as the CSA is instituting the appropriate measures to ensure a smooth employee status regularization process. The 90-day period for the PAN completion process has been extended to 120 days, 4 months starting from April 2nd to August 2nd, 2024. This will allow the CSA to deploy the required logistics teams of analysts to work with the human resource departments of spending entities who are bona fide employees to complete the PAN process. The CSA will produce jingles with relevant messages in English and local languages to adequately educate and inform our people on the entire pen completion exercise and air the messages on national and local radio stations. We will also continue to work closely with the Ministry of Education, Cultural Affairs and Tourism to provide regular updates on the entire exercise. Towards this end, I am pleased to inform you that the resident representative of ECOWAS, Her Excellency Josephine Nkrumah, has provided the CSA a golden opportunity to use the ECOWAS radio station to adequately educate and inform the public about the pen completion process and other civil service reform activities. ECOWAS radio's programs are aired on 17 local radio stations across the country. This is a big boost to this national effort, for which the CSA is very grateful to ECOWAS for the vital support. In the coming days, the CSA will send a timeline to all the spending entities for the entire exercise, detailing key activities with execution dates and assigned teams. The timeline will aid spending entities, human resource departments, in particular, to appropriately prepare themselves for the exercise. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, a public sector modernization project, PSMP, was implemented by the CSA, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and a host of other spending entities over the last 6 years, with the overarching goal of instituting major reforms to ensure prudent public finance management. An integral part of the PSMP was the National Payroll Management and Control System to ensure accountability and transparency in the usage of public funds to pay government employees. The CSA extends profound gratitude to development partners, especially the government of the United States through USAID, the Swedish government, the EU, and the World Bank Group for providing the much needed funding support to this vital project. Also, the CSA expresses gratitude to former President George Weah and his government for allowing the General Auditing Commission to conduct this comprehensive payroll compliance audit across the 103 spending entities. In keeping with accountability and transparency, the General Auditing Commission carried out the forensic payroll compliance audit from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2021. The payroll audit uncovered alarming proportions of financial mismanagement, fraud, and waste, and laid out in the Auditor General's findings and recommendations. The recommendations are divided into segments, with some requiring a multi-sectoral implementation approach and the majority needing simple and straightforward actions. Unfortunately, the Weah administration did not implement the Auditor General's recommendations. Today, with immediate effect, the CSA is taking the following actions to implement the Auditor General's recommendations. 1. During the audit, the GSC observed that 122 employees from across 20 ministries and agencies had shared bank account numbers. There are two scenarios associated with this discrepancy. For the first scenario, one employee with the same name, same NIR, that's National Identification Registry number, the same date of birth, is listed twice under two different entities with two positions, but one bank account at a single bank. This is double dipping. meaning the employee alone is receiving 2 salaries. For the second scenario, 2 different individuals have the same bank account number, different positions, and are working in the same entity. These are ghost names representing ghost employees who are receiving payments for work not done. The government is losing $30,795.09 monthly to this discrepancy. The Auditor General recommends, therefore, that these individuals illegally and fraudulently sharing bank account numbers be permanently removed from the payroll. In keeping with the Auditor General's recommendations, the CSA has placed a moratorium on all salary payments to the 122 individuals concerned for the month of April 2024, pending a 1-month verification. Failure to be verified during the stipulated period, the affected individuals will be permanently removed from the payroll as of May 2024. 2. During the audit, the GSC observed that mobile money payments were made to 127 individuals whose names on the GSM register mobile numbers were different from the names on the payroll. The government is losing $12,040.14 United States dollars and $550,852.75 Liberian dollars monthly. In other words, illegitimate individuals or personnel are being paid for services not performed. In keeping with the Auditor General's recommendation, the CSA has placed a moratorium on all salary payments to the 127 individuals concerned for the month of April 2024, pending 1-month verification. Failure to be verified in April, the CSA will permanently remove the black affected individuals from the payroll as of May 2024. The GAC also observed that 9,287 employees, representing 13.7% of employees' records across 91 spending entities, were unavailable for physical verification during the audit. Payments are being made to ghost employees, leading to fraud, waste, and misappropriation. In other words, illegitimate individuals or personnel are being paid for services not performed. Therefore, the Auditor General recommends that individuals not verified within 90 days, that was in 2021, about 2 years ago, be permanently removed from the government of Liberia's payroll. The government is losing $3,764,204.92 United States monthly as a direct result of this gross discrepancy. Per the Auditor General's recommendation, the CSA has placed a moratorium on all salary payments to the 9,287 individuals concerned for April 2024, pending a 1-month verification. If the verification is not completed in April, the CSA will permanently remove the black affected individuals from the payroll as of May 2024. It was also observed by the GAC that 564 employees across 47 ministries and agencies did not have national identification numbers, what you call NINs. NINs, national identification numbers. The national identification number is a unique identifier for each government employee on a payroll. In the absence of an NIN, payments are being made to illegitimate or ghost employees. Therefore, the Auditor General advised that individuals who do not provide a valid NIN within 90 days of issuing the audit report, that was in 2021, should be permanently removed from the government of Liberia's payroll. The government is also losing 310,714.93 cents monthly to this discrepancy. Per the Auditor General's recommendation, today, the CSA has placed a moratorium on all salary payments to the 564 individuals concerned for the month of April 2024, pending 1 month verification exercise. If the verification is not completed in April, the CSA will permanently remove the black affected individuals from the payroll as of May 2024. During the audit, the GSC observed that 166 persons who turned out for the verification from 17 spending entities were suspected of impersonating as bona fide government employees. Payments are being made to these potential ghost employees, thereby leading to fraud, waste, and misappropriation of public funds. The Auditor General recommends, therefore, that suspicious individuals established as illegitimate persons be removed from the payroll. Per the Auditor General's recommendation, the CSA has placed a moratorium on all salary payments to the 166 individuals concerned for the month of April 2024, pending investigation. The CSA will permanently remove the black affected individuals from the payroll as of May 2024 if not verified during this stipulated period. Today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable deputy ministers and assistant ministers, I want to assure everyone that the government of Liberia, under the distinguished stewardship of His Excellency President Josiah Joekai Sr., is unwavering in its commitment to transparency, accountability, and good governance in public finance management. Therefore, the Civil Service Agency is fully committed and dedicated to attaining the arrest agenda and will take all the necessary steps in keeping with law to reform and professionalize the public service for improved performance and productivity. Before I take my seat, I know you are concerned that you see batches of forms before you. These bags are containing incomplete, or if you like, unprocessed personnel action notices that I referred to when I was here during the second time of my press briefing. These forms were initiated. I'm going to show some of them. It's okay. These forms were initiated by employees who are committed and dedicated patriotic citizens who are committed and dedicated to serving their country in various respects. They initiated these forms with the hope of having them completed upon hiring so that the CSA can have a comprehensive data on each of them. The personnel action notice is not a making of the Director General Josiah F. Joekai Jr. It is in keeping with Section 35 of the Civil Service Standing Orders of 2012, which obligates me as Director General of the Civil Service to approve the employment of every employee in our civil service by approving each of these personnel action notices. These personnel action notices that I have here were not, and have not been signed by my predecessor. Meaning you have thousands, as you can see, as I indicated the last time, thousands of employees who are currently working, are active, who are currently working. but their PANs are still unprocessed. And people are wondering, what is the rationale? What's the significance of completing the PAN? It is very important because the PAN contains all of the information regarding the employee's background, their qualification, skills, knowledge, and experience. And experience, their skills, knowledge, experience, their cultural competence, we call it their cultural fit, in terms of their core values that are supposed to align with the offices and institutions that they are supposed to serve. They are supposed to also provide, this form contains their bio, their personal data. Why this is important? If an employee is supposed to retire, we are supposed to process their pension based on their employment history. This form contains that information. As it stands right now, all the personnel action notices that you see here, those to whom these notices belong, their statuses are not clear because they were not approved by my predecessor. And if we have to reform the civil service, we have to make sure that people are employed in keeping with established laws, rules, guidelines. And that is what my leadership at the CSA is committed to. Because the civil service is the fulcrum of the government. If we have an inefficient civil service, we have an inefficient government. If the fulcrum is squeaky, then the government will be squeaky. The government will shake and stop, because the fulcrum is not moving. And that's the civil service. Our responsibility is to make sure that we have a properly efficient, operationally functional civil service. We want to ensure that. That's what we want to show the Liberian people. So, in the immediate term, as I have always indicated, we are focused on cleaning the payroll, and this is the mission we are on right now. This doesn't target any individual. This has no political motive, no political persuasion. As you can see, we are following the books. On the board, you see the PAN process flow chart on that board. So the PAN is initiated by the potential candidate, and it goes around until it comes to the Director General of the CSA for approval. You see that in the blue rectangle? That's the DG, the Director General. Once he approves it, then it means that the employment of that employee is legit. Then we are able to process benefits for the employee. Then we are able to process benefits for the employee's next of kin. All the information available. Then we are able to ensure that the employee's rights and benefits are guaranteed as an employee. We have to bring dignity to our public servants. We have to bring dignity to the payroll. We have to bring dignity to the workforce. So that's about the PAN. That's why we brought this here to display, to tell you the thousands of PANs we have for individuals who have not completely processed their PANs. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to work with these people during the 4-month period. It's going to be a smooth exercise. We're not driving away people. We're not laying off people as the public is being misinformed. We are only going to follow the information of these people, identify them, and make sure that we complete this process so that they can have a legitimate status, complete their employment status. Those who have not initiated the PAN process at all, we will also identify them working with the human resource departments of their various agencies and ensure that we provide them the forms, the PAN forms, so that they can complete it, and we will support them to go through the process, the life cycle of the PAN to have it completed. That way, we can account for all the employees in the public service. CSA, that's our responsibility. We can account for all the employees, making sure they are the right people in the right places, making sure that their qualifications match the job requirements, because everything is provided for here, and it's our responsibility to ensure that. So the next thing I want to talk about is the exhibits. Can you show the exhibits, please? Those things I talk about: 166 person having share accounts, 122 person having share accounts, 9,287 persons being unverified, and the Auditor General recommending their removal. We have everything here. So right before you are employees with share bank accounts, and that's the observation I talked about. Here are they. So for example, Ministry of Internal Affairs, we have 35. The Civil Service Agency, we have 1. Financial Intelligence Unit, we have 1. The Judiciary, we have 14 persons. The Ministry of Education, we have 14. So that tells you that we're not making up anything. That what we are saying here is strictly from established data, something that exists on our current payroll, discrepancies that we have to address. Can we move to the next exhibit, please? Mobile money discrepancies. Look at that. We have 122 persons on the payroll. Look at the amounts that are going to them in the last two columns, USD and Liberian dollar. So you see the different agencies, that's MOE alone right there, the name of the GSM network right there, but different from the name on the payroll. Look at that discrepancy. The name on the payroll is different from the name on the GSM network. But at the same time, whoever got the mobile phone number is receiving that money. Let's move to the next exhibit. Physical verification, head count, the 9,287 individuals. Can we go to the spread? Here you go. National Legislature, you have 757. And that is why the Central Administration of the National Legislature is going to be audited during the upcoming audit, payroll compliance audit. The honorable members of the legislature, to some extent, are aware, because during my confirmation, I said that would be one of my goals. The 103 spending entities, including the legislature and the CSA itself, that is part of the spending entities, their payrolls will be audited. And you see the different numbers. Let's go back to that number. That's do you have Ministry of Information there? It should be the Culture Affairs and Tourism. Right there. So you have 36. You have 36. Ministry of Foreign Affairs has 35. And then the Civil Service Agency, my agency, they say that's what they got. So switch to the next. So you have 103, Center for National Documents. Now we have all these discrepancies. They're on the payroll, and we are sending money to these people all the time. We don't know who we're sending the money to, because the GSC was unable to verify who the people are serving in these positions. So right now, even though it's over 2 years since we asked them to come to be verified, but we are still being very nice. We're giving them additional 1 month to say, come, so you can be verified. And if they don't come during the month of April, we are going to permanently remove them from the payroll. And you know the percentage of the workforce that constitutes is 13.7%. In terms of dollar value, it's 3.7 million United States dollars. That's what we are paying this group of fictitious or ghost employees every month. That's what we pay. So let's go to the next exhibit. Lack of national identification numbers. So you see there 564 individuals did not have NIR numbers or NINs, and is a required unique identifier for the payroll. These things are not the making of my leadership of the CSA. I continue to emphasize what my leadership is doing is only implementing the recommendations of the General Auditing Commission's payroll compliance audit that was conducted from 2018 to 2021. We are only implementing those recommendations because it's our responsibility to do that. So you have the National Legislature 6. You have also Ministry of Finance, and you can go back up. Okay, all right, that's Ministry of Finance and Development Planning 2. National Water and Sanitation Hygiene 1. So you have Ministry of Justice 30, you have Ministry of Education 36. So I mean, 69 wouldn't be a Stockholm University, you have the different universities. All right, so can we go to the next? We have suspected impersonation. During the audit, the GSC also identified individuals, 166 persons in total from 17 ministries and agencies who were suspected of impersonating to be qualified government employees. So that has now been rectified. These individuals, to my knowledge, have not come for verification. And so we are blocking their pay. We're not saying you won't take your pay, but we want to block it. It's not coming to you. So you are able to come to us and say, oh, I'm the one. And you can bring all the legal documents to prove that you are the one, that we can match with what we have in our system to verify. Once you are verified, you are entitled to your salaries. We will do that. Otherwise, if you don't come, as of the month of May, we are going to remove you from the payroll. So in that category, you have Ministry of Internal Affairs 15 persons, Ministry of Education, you have 58, the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, you have 57, and that's understandable. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen of the press, my fellow colleagues, government officials, the NEC, the CSA, you know, sometimes I make mistake, I say NEC, you know, I work for NEC before, so I'm tempted to say either NEC or the National Commission on Arms, you know, I worked at those places before, so fellow colleagues from the Civil Service Agency, please forgive me, I'm still learning it. I'm really pleased. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for projecting this and letting the public to know. From time to time, we will come here to provide updates. Again, I'm assuring the public that this is not targeted at anybody. It's not a witch hunt. Many of these names that we talk about removing are fictitious names. So nobody should incite or mislead our dear civil servants. We are aware that our dear civil servants are legitimate. We are aware that they are working. We are aware that they deserve the right thing to be done. That's what we want to do. But we are also aware that there exist ghost employees on the payroll, many of whom we have projected from these slides. And these are the ghost names, individuals that we are going after. So please do not be moved, don't panic when you hear individuals who intend to just misinform the public about our intent. This is a good and well-intentioned exercise. We will work with all our civil servants. We will ensure that their statuses are regularized so that they can enjoy the rights and benefits pertaining to their jobs. Thank you.